Okay, so we are back. Chapter 8 continuing, and we'll just do the recap in chapter 8 and then we'll start chapter 9 today. So just chant Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshur-Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapatakamelam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahegana Raghunathan Pitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। सद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, so last week we finished the Nama Prads. Just do a quick recap. Yeah, so we were looking at this inattentive chanting. We discussed few aspects why we should not chant inattentively and what happens if we do chant inattentively. Anyone remembers what's the most obstructing thing which happens if we chant inattentively?
All the other 10 offenses
Yes.
start coming.
Thank you. So if we chant inattentively, all the 10 offenses come. So we may not be doing offense number 1, 2, 3 on day 1, day 2, but if we chant inattentively, slowly, it starts from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and leads to number 1, which is Satam Ninda, blaspheming the Vaishnava. So it's very, very important that we try to chant attentively as much as possible. Any other benefits of chanting attentively? Anyone remembers? Any other benefits of chanting attentively? Some of them.
Love of Krishna.
Love of Krishna. Okay.
Love for Krishna.
Can you expand that, Mataji? Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. That's why we are chanting.
So we go closer to Krishna as we...
Faster. So we go closer to Krishna faster if we chant attentively. If we chant inattentively, our journey is prolonged, basically. So if we want to go Krishna close faster, then we should chant attentively. And it says attention will lead to absorption, and absorption will lead to attachment. So attention is the key. So attention to absorption and absorption to attachment. And this is what whole Bhagavad Gita is talking about. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So Krishna is saying, you get attached to me. How you get attached to me? So if you have to perform your sevas with attention. And slowly, if you're attending the seva very nicely, slowly you'll get absorbed in the seva. And once you're absorbed in the seva, then you get attached to the object of absorption, which in this case is Krishna. But if we don't do the first attention, absorption will never happen, which happens in most of our cases. Because we are not attentive, absorption is not there. And because absorption is not there, attachment doesn't come. So attention to absorption to attachment. So this is the key. It starts from Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chanting attentively. And we also look at 3 types of inattention. So Odasinya, Jadya, and Vikshepa. What's the symptom of offenseless chanter? So we looked at this verse of Sikshastakam. What are the 4 characteristics of one who is chanting offenselessly? Anyone can say? Answer is on the screen.
Humility, tolerance, pridelessness, and respect to others.
Thank you. And can you translate that into Sanskrit, Prabhu? It's right on the screen.
Uh,
So humility is
let-
pranadapi sunichena. So a person is very, 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 very humble. Taro abhi sahishruna, he is sahishruna. Amanina manate. So amani means he does not expect any man for himself, but he gives manadena to everyone. And in that state of mind, one can chant the holy name of God constantly. And if these four qualities are not there, you will not be able to chant. Or externally, you can make a show off for 1 or 2 days, chanting 64 rounds or maybe more than that, but it won't last long because you don't have these four qualities. So we have to, if we want to go that Kirtaniya Sadahari, we have to develop these four qualities consciously, not that it will just happen one day. And if we keep offending the Nama, what will happen? Bahujanma Karyati Shravan Kirtana, Tabutana Paya Krishna Pade Premdhana will not be able to get the love of God, which is the ultimate goal of this chanting. We also looked at worship of Ganesha. Anyone remembers one point about worship of Ganesha from last week? From Prabhupada purpose, I'm talking, not outside.
if you
Prabhupada allowed or not allowed?
if you worship Ganesha, you have to give $100,000 to Prabhupada's movement every month.
Every month.
Srila
USD.
Prabhupada said that it is not necessary to
Yes.
worship
Yeah.
Lord Ganesh.
Because if he says, if Ganesh, then why not everyone? Because all the demigods in that sense are the devotees of Lord. And Ganesha is a devotee of which form of Krishna?
Narshingadev.
Narsingadev. So if you are worshipping Narsingadev, Ganesh actually is very happy already because Ganesh is also worshipping Narsingadev and he is not in a competition mode. He's in a serving mode. So he's serving Narsingadev. So when you serve Narsingadev, Ganesh is already very happy. So it's not necessary. Even if you may have some cultural background, it's not necessary to worship Ganesh. And Prabhupada sort of discouraged in that sense because if you're worshipping, you have to pay me 100,000 USD every particular month. So it's very clear definition given by Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji or Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Hare
yeah, when
Krishna.
we talked about Namaprad and Sevaprad. So with Sevaprad, there is, if you follow, like, if you are asking forgiveness and then chant attentively and constantly engage in the devotional service, you can be rid of that Sevaprad. But for the Namaprad, it is said, you had shown us one slide that a person who commits all offenses can be freed by taking complete shelter of Hari. And then if you are offending Hari, then you can take shelter of Hari's name and then you will be rid of that offenses. But if you offend the Harinam, who is a friend to all, then committing offense against the Nam, a person falls to the lower regions. So my question is, I'm just curious to know what happens. He goes to the lower regions and how does he atone? How does one get saved from that particular thing, a predicament?
Yeah, okay. So here we have to understand these lower regions does not necessarily mean you become an animal and that's it. Yes, you may become an animal as well. That's not the point. But the point here is this person's consciousness goes very, very low. So suppose you have gained some wealth, 10 years, you have accumulated $1 million. Now, because you have offended someone, that $1 million is sort of frozen for you. So it's of no value to you. So from that perspective, your consciousness goes low. And as we were discussing in last class somewhere, when you do this Namaparad, especially the Vaishnava Ninda part, your heart will have a lot more material desires. So basically, that's also that lower consciousness, basically, where you love material world more than the spiritual world or devotees or Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is what it means by lower regions. And if you keep doing that, eventually you will become. Once Prabhupada disciple was in Vrindavan, he was asking, having a discussion with Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, all these animals and trees here, they are offenders actually. So they were devotees, the trees and monkeys and other animals, they were devotees actually. But because they offended someone, and they have taken this birth. So that's also the lower region. So it can be within this life, it can be after life as well, depending on the severity of the offense you have.
So one has to again start from that point and elevate himself or herself.
Yes, yes. So for that point, till the time he realizes his mistake, he will be given some sort of token punishment by Krishna. And when he realizes his mistake, then Krishna will again uplift him, basically unfreeze the account. He'll have same amount of interest which he had left, 10 years ago, something like that, or 5 lifetimes ago. So Krishna again does not take anything away. It's just, just like a little child. You want to love your child. You want to give all the facilities to your child, but sometimes child is too naughty. So mother has to just, put a pause on the child. Mother Yashoda also did that for the benefit of Krishna, trying to bind Krishna and say, okay, Krishna, you just stay here. Don't do anything, huh? So it's like that. Krishna stops that jiva, just stay here, don't do anything. So it's not taken anything away from that jiva. It's just some facility which you are misusing has been taken away. You're taking devotee association for granted. You are disturbing other devotees, for example. So you say, okay, hang on a second, you don't need to go to that association because they are nice devotees. You are offending them. Krishna says, you sit back home, watch India match, something like that. You'll say, okay, I don't need to go to my class today. Let's watch the match today. So actually, that's the result of a aparad which I've already done. And it happens with so many people, so many people. They have more interest in other things other than Krishna. The nice Bhagavatam class is going on. They'll be standing out in the car park, chit-chatting. When Maharaj is giving class instead of sitting in the class. I'll tell you my own example, simple one, but yes, nice. 22 years ago or something I will not have any interest in Srimad Bhagavatam classes. So I'll just stay out. So one devotee chastised me one day. You have to sit in. I said, I feel sleepy. He said, you go inside and sleep there instead of standing in the restaurant in car park. So he pushed me in the classes actually. I'm talking very, very early days. I had no idea about Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And I respected that devotee a lot. So I started sitting in the classes and I slept. I still sleep. But then slowly, some few words started coming to my ear. And I said, oh, that's very nice, actually. So I thanked that devotee. I said, thank you, Prabhu. So if the class is going on, if you're not involved in any of your seva, go inside and sleep. If you really want to sleep, sleep in front of Maharaj instead of, standing outside. Okay. Okay, chapter 9, I think we started last week about this Nivritti number 20, which is a blasphemy of the Bhakta Ninda Sahana Tyag. Guru Krishna Bhakta Ninda Sahana Tyag. So we should not tolerate the Ninda or blasphemy of these three, which is very, very important. Guru, Krishna, and Bhakta. Now, if we are there when the blasphemy is happening, obviously you're not doing, but someone else is doing. So what is the first step we should do? There are three steps given. So what are the first steps? Anyone remembers?
Tolerate.
Tolerate. Okay. So keep listening and tolerating. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
We should go away from that place.
We should. What's the first thing we should do? So we should never tolerate.
We should try to
Not because by
oppose the
being there,
Pratibhata argument.
we will
Sorry.
get actually bad karma, aparad.
Argue,
Someone
like
is
defeat the
blaspheming Srila
argument.
Prabhupada. Huh?
Defeat the argument.
Defeat the argument. The number one thing which we do if we have the capacity, defeat the arguments. Because you are saying like that, but that is not true. And you explain, but you should have capacity. Like if you are in front of a boxer, you don't have capacity to defeat the boxer, what you should do? Get out. So that's the number 3. And what's the number 2? Example of number 1, defeat the arguments. Who defeated the arguments of blasphemers or defeated them?
Jeev Goswami defeated.
Thank you, Mataji. Keshav Kashmiri. So that's one very nice example. Rupa Goswami didn't want to get into arguments, and he said, I sign in your Jai Patra, basically. Oh, you are victorious and I'm defeated. That's what Rupa Goswami did, because just wanted to save the time. And Keshav Kashmiri was showing the Jai Patra, victorious letter, to everyone. When Jiva Goswami came to know, what? You cannot defeat my spiritual master. He said, I'm one of a very insignificant disciple of my Guru Maharaj, and you have to have Shastrarth with me, debate with me. And Jiva Goswami very easily defeated this person. When Rupa Goswami came to know, he became a little upset. Again, a devotee does not want to waste his time. I've heard from Chaitanya Prabhu as well, that many times, not every criticism you have to respond to. Some criticism you have to, some, but not every criticism, because people will keep saying different things. You don't have to get involved, you don't have time. But some clarification at some points have to be given to appropriate people, not to the whole world. So we have to understand that. So defeat. Any other examples besides this Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami example?
I think
Physical
Chaitanya
defeating
Mahaprabhu,
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Chaitanya
defeated.
Mahaprabhu, although he's a devotee, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate, but when Nityananda Prabhu was attacked, he wasn't tolerating that. He's like, okay, I'll get my Sudarshan Chakra, and we see this picture, nice picture, and I'm going to kill Jagai and Madhai. So this is what a bhakta should do when he hears this blasphemy, violence against a Vaishnava. Second is
Giving up your
giving up your life. Example, Sati.
sati.
So Sati, when she heard the blasphemy or disrespect of her own husband, again, she looked at her husband as a Vaishnava. She said, I cannot keep up this body. So she gave up the life. Now, we don't do mostly one or two, third one, get out. Now, number one, just a disclaimer, which we discussed last week as well, not every negative thing should be taken as blasphemy. It may be a clarification. Someone is seeking some clarification. So if you know, you can clarify. So you cannot just say, oh, Prabhu, you are being critical here, blasphemer here, not like that. So if this person doesn't know, you can clarify. And if you don't know, you said, okay, I'll seek clarification, but maybe, just maybe, it's not the way you are thinking. Just maybe, if that person is happy to hear the comments back. Okay, let's move forward. A long way today. Now we're starting this 22 items in this chapter, which we see on this screen. Okay, the first one was Tirtir Vaishnav Chinnanam Hare Nama Rakshasya Cha. So tilak and tulsi beads, we read about it. A devotee must have tilak at least once a day, we were discussing, and again, ideally is 3 times a day. By doing that, you're inviting Lord Vishnu and making this body as a temple of Lord Vishnu. It says, one of the shlokas in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, if you go to a temple where Vishnu deities are there, that's very nice, and we should go to that temple. But what about the temple which is a walking temple? When a Vaishnava is coming in front of you, he's like a walking temple, and you don't respect that Vaishnava. So will Vishnu be pleased? So you go to the Radha Gopinath temple, for example, and you respect the deity. It's pretty nice. But when a Vaishnava is coming and you don't respect the Vaishnava, the Lord Vishnu is not pleased, because he is a walking temple. In this body of this Vaishnava, he is personally residing. And the higher the advancement of the devotee, the higher the degree Lord is residing. That's why we have so much respect for sannyasis and advanced Vaishnavas, because they have done so much sacrifice for Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu is really residing in their body. And by doing pranam to that Vaishnava, doing some reciprocation, nice one, we get blessings of that Vaishnava, and Lord Vishnu looks at us with mercy. And this is what we are trying to do. So this is extremely important. Also, we are discussing about the kanti. Kanti should be worn not as a necklace, but as a kutte ka patta, a dog collar, because we are, Bhakti Thakur says, O Vaishnav Thakur, Ami Tomar Kukur. Kukur means kutta, dog. I'm your dog. Make me your dog. And Prabhupada also said, so many lifetimes we have been dog of Maya. Why? Because dog is very, very chaste. Very, very chaste to the master. So if Maya is our master, we are very chaste to the Maya. Now we have to change our master. Krishna is our master. And this is just one sign that we are your servant. Yes, Rasanand Prabhuji.
Prabhu, question on this. It said putting the mark at 12 places in the body, it's representing Vishnu symbolic, like the 4 hands of corns, maize, disc, and lotus. I'm not able to understand that.
Sorry, where you reading?
No, it's saying the person who put tulsi bead on the neck in the
On a screen.
slide, on
The
the
4
slide.
items held in the 4 hands of Vishnu.
Yeah, conch, maize, disc, and lotus. How is that tilak and this are compared?
Yeah, because when we say Om Keshwaya Namah, Om Narayanaya Namah, so basically we are remembering that form of Lord Vishnu and trying to invite that form of Vishnu in that part of our body. Because Vishnu will have all this. And if you know a general description, just a very general one. Different forms of Vishnu gets different names because the order in which they carry Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padma varies. Some order will vary and the Lord Vishnu get a different name. Don't ask me the details there. I'm not expert in that, but this is how it is. So something changes. So we are basically meditating on that form of Lord Vishnu and inviting that form of Lord Vishnu here, back, front, upper, neck, and all those different parts of the body.
Okay, Prabhu, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
I'll not read these quotations, just one important thing. This is by Burijan Prabhu. These are the outward signs of a Vaishnava. One should always, okay, that we read. Without wearing a tilak, a devotee should feel himself incomplete, undressed. So that's very important. It shows the importance of tilak. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, it is not wearing of tilak and tulsi beads that makes one Vaishnava. One has to have the consciousness of a Vaishnava. So these outward signs are important, but you can't fool Yamdutas with that. You just wear Kanti Mala and Yamdutas will get confused with that. No, Yamdutas are pretty smart. But the point is this also helps. And we read in Puranas, a Muslim died on a tulsi tree and he went back to Vishnuloka. So that may happen as well. But we can't do aparadh on the name of these things. So yeah, do all sorts of sinful activities and just wear Kantimala and say, okay, I'm wearing tulsi, I'm saved. That won't work. Okay, accepting flower garlands. We read about it by accepting Nirmalya of Lord. We particularly win over Maya. Burjan Prabhu also says that if someone doesn't wear the garland, that shows his lack of love for the Lord. You know, sometimes you give a garland and say, nahi, nahi, Prabhuji, nahi, nahi. Actually, you should say, thank you, Prabhu, give me the garland. Obviously, Prasad garland, I'm talking, not the Bhoga. Give me the garland because by having the garland on my chest, on my body, I will win over my senses and mind. I will win over Maya. So that's very, very nice. And obviously, you should share as well. But the point is, we should love these things which are coming from the Lord. Any flowers coming from the Lord, any water coming from the Lord, and all those things. Scent comes from the Lord. All these things, we should love it, not hesitate to accept it on our body. Okay. Now, are we starting from this point? 24? Okay, looks like. So this 24, very nice. Tasyagre Tandavam. Tasya refers to deities. Agre means in front of. Tandav. Everyone knows Tandav. Tandav means Bhishana Nritya. So basically it says you should not hesitate to dance. You should dance nicely. Not obviously this dance is not to impress anyone. This dance is only to impress Lord in that sense, but you should not hesitate. Prahlad Maharaj also says in 7th canto, when I dance, sometimes I cry, sometimes I laugh. I forget my outside consciousness. So this is how it should be. And he says, when you raise your hand in kirtan, demigods are very satisfied. And when you jump on the floor, it says even the Pitaras who are living on the lower planets get satisfied. So actually, just by dancing in front of deities for the pleasure of deities, you are doing great benefit to yourself and to your ancestors and to the demigods, because demigods are very pleased on you and they will bless you. They will take your obstacles away so that you can perform your devotional service in a better way. And it says the word Tandav. So, Dwaraka Mahatmya, I'll just read as it is. A person who is in jubilant spirit, who feels profound devotional ecstasy while dancing before me, and who manifests different features of bodily expression, can burn away all the accumulated sinful reaction he has stocked up for many, many thousands of years. It's a very nice statement. So all these different limbs of bhakti which Prabhupada installed while giving the schedule for our day, it says when you attend the morning program, you can do up to 48 limbs of bhakti every morning program. So just imagine if you do that program every day, every week, every month, years and years and years later, your consciousness will improve so much because you are doing so many angas of bhakti, just doing one morning program from Mangala to 9 o'clock Aarti and then taking prasadam as well. Prabhupada himself, although so old, was dancing like so much, as many times people will get worried about Prabhupada. How can he dance in that age so much? If he falls, something may happen to Prabhupada. But Prabhupada was so enthusiastic. In the same book, which is Dwarka Mahatmya, a statement by Narada, from the body of any person who claps and dances before the deity, showing manifestation of ecstasy, all the birds of sinful activities fly away upwards. Very strong. So you just clap. Prabhupada also said, when you clap, all the lines go away. One time, Prabhupada disciples were in Bombay. They went to see one astrologer, very famous astrologer, and the astrologer told many negative things in their lives. They came back, they were morose. And Prabhupada said, what happened to you guys? So they told the truth. We went to this astrologer. He said so many bad things looking at our lines in the hand. Prabhupada just smiled. He said, just clap in Hare Krishna mantra in Aarti of the Lord, and all the lines will go away. So Krishna takes charge of the life of a devotee, including struggling sadhakas. So all of us have great hope because our master is Krishna, at least not Maya. I think we should try that way. Just as by clapping the hands, one can cause many birds to fly away, similarly, the birds of all sinful activities which are sitting on the body can be made to fly away simply by dancing and clapping before the deity of Krishna. So you should go for Darshanarti, Gaura Arti, Mangla Arti, and dance nicely and clap nicely. Show enthusiasm. Sripalad Prabhu used to say, just show up. Just come to the temple. Just come to the temple. Just bow down to Prabhupada, bow down to the deity. So much benefit, spiritual benefit we get. Number 25, Dandvan Natihi. So bowing down in honor of the deity. Naradiya Puran, a person who has performed a great ritualistic sacrifice and a person who has simply offered his respectful obeisances by bowing down before the Lord cannot be held as equals. This amazing statement. Just by doing one pranam to the deity, to the Prabhupada, we get so much. Skanda Puran also says all the millions of birth sinful reaction goes away just by doing one pranam to a Vishnu deity. Just by doing one pranam to Vishnu deity. If you're in a male body, Shashtang pranam. If you're in a female body, Panchang pranam. Just one sincere pranam. And you really bow down towards Lord and say, Lord, please accept me. Vibhishan bowed down to Lord Ram and he says, Lord Ram, who gave the Lanka to Lankesh, Ravan, after giving up his 10 heads. But the same Lanka was given to Vibhishan just by bowing down once towards Lord Ram. Ek pranam, so important, so important. We should not hesitate. And when Maharaj was saying, if you hesitate to do pranam in temple, you do pranam at home. Just do 20 dandavats every day at home. 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening. Who is seeing you there? So do dandavats. That's the main thing. A person who has executed many great sacrifices will attain the result of his pious activities, but when such results are finished, he has to take birth again on the earthly planet. However, the person who has once offered respects bowing down before the deity will not come back to this world because he will go directly to the abode of Krishna. Standing up to receive the Lord, Abhyuthanam. In Brahmanda Puran, it is said a person who sees Lord's Rath Yatra festival and then stands up to receive the Lord can purge all kinds of sinful results from his body. Rathe tu vamanam drashta punarjanm na vidyate. So whoever sees Jagannath ji on the Rath, on the Jagannath Rath, he will never take birth again. Just by seeing Jagannath, then what to speak of, participating in the festival and doing something for Lord Jagannath. Anuvrajya, following the deity. Similar statement Bhavishya Puran. Even if born of a lowly family, a person who follows the Rath Yatra car when deities pass in front of, or from behind will surely be elevated to the position of achieving equal opulence with Vishnu. Now, they are not exaggerations at all. The problem, Maharaj was telling what happens after seeing all that, we again commit aparadh. We again commit an offense. So these statements are completely valid given we don't recommit the same aparadh. As the given example of Ajamil, Ajamil was not an offender. He was sinful, definitely. He was not an offender. And because he was not an offender, he got Krishna Prema very, very quickly, just in 15 years. Gatihi, going to the temple of Vishnu or the places of pilgrimage. Purana says persons who attempt to visit the holy place of pilgrimage like Vrindavan, Mathura, or Dwarka are actually glorified. By such traveling activities, they can pass over the desert of material existence. So Vrindavan, as we know, there's a Golok Vrindavan and there's a Bhulok Vrindavan. So to go to Golok Vrindavan, first you have to go to Bhulok Vrindavan. And before you go to Bhulok Vrindavan, you have to go to this local embassy of Vrindavan, which is 180 Falcon Street. So we have to visit these places a lot. When Maharaj Goswami Maharaj was telling, he said, even when you think about going to temple, you get the benefit. You haven't gone to temple as yet? Today is Sunday. I'll go to temple today. I'll leave home at 5 o'clock. Now, 5 o'clock, you may get some other emergency. You didn't go to temple. But because you sincerely thought, truly thought about going to temple in the morning, 10 o'clock, you still get the benefit. So this is the great feature of Kali Yuga. Even by thinking good, you get the good result. So which Yuga is the best one? Satyuga, Treta, Dwapar, or Kali Yuga? Tell me, which Yuga is the best one? Mridula Mataji is speaking something, but I can't hear. Okay, can't unmute, that's fine.
Kali Yuga, Prabhu, Kali Yuga.
Kali
Kali
Yuga.
Yuga is the best,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Kali
You
Yuga.
can
Yes.
Any
get the
other
results
reasons?
very easily.
Any other reasons?
We get, I heard in one of the lectures that in Satya Yuga, whatever they tell, whatever they do, 1/10 of that, if they do, they will get it in, get the same result in next Yuga, which is Treta Yuga. Like that, yeah, 1/10 of that, what they do, they get it in Dwapar Yuga. And of that, very simple is Kali Yuga. So the lecture was why Kali Yuga is better than other Yuga. So it's
Yeah.
a similar topic I was hearing.
Yeah, thank you. So there's another statement in Srimad Bhagavatam, very famous was Kaler dosho nidhe rajan asti he eko mahan guna kirtanad ev krishnasya mukta sangha param bhajet. So in this yuga, just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, you can go back to Godhead. You don't have to do any other austerity. You can live with your family, you can have your job, you can have your money and all those other things. But by sincerely chanting the holy name, you can go back to Godhead. This was not possible in any other yuga. And on top of that, we have the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Getting the highest perfection for the lowest people. So this is a great opportunity for all of us. Just in this lifetime of 60, 70 years, we can easily go back to Godhead. This opportunity may never come back again. So don't miss this opportunity. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj was saying in one class, sometimes the people who live very close to the station, they miss out the train. Because they think, oh, train station is just 2 minutes, we'll go, and they miss out. The person who's living very far, they catch the train, but the person who's living very close to train station, they miss out train or bus. So we are living very, very close, don't miss out. But Maharaj was saying, it's like to catch a flight, we have to go to the airport, but at airport, you have many duty-free shops, and many times it happens people get involved in so much shopping, they miss out the flight. So don't miss out the flight while you're shopping. ये भी लेना है, वो भी लेना, I have to get this, I have to get that, and I have to settle this, and I have to settle that. Nothing much you have to do. Keep it simple. Focus on the main thing. Everything else is secondary. In Hindi they say, जिंदगी को ज्यादा सीरियस लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, यहाँ से जिंदा बचकर कोई नहीं जाता. So don't take this life too seriously, because you're not going to get out live anyway. Just Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj also said, don't take the material things too seriously. They're there, they may be important, and you need to attend them, but don't take it to your heart too much. Do what you can. And at the end of the day, whatever Krishna arranges, do your best and leave the rest. And for the bhakti things, my Guru Maharaj used to say, for the serious thing, you should become serious. But what happens for the non-serious things, we become very serious. And for serious things, we are very complacent. Chalega. 16 mala chal raha hai. I'm able to do 16 rounds somehow or other. Temple last year we went. Mangala Aarti we attended only 3 years ago. So no, serious things we should take very seriously. And this is definitely a serious business. Hari Bhakti Shuddhodaya, persons who are impelled by pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness and who therefore go to see the deities of Vishnu in the temple will surely get relief from entering again into the prison house of a mother's womb. So they will not enter into the mother's womb again. Circumambulating the temple of Vishnu is Thane Parikramaha. Same scripture, Hari Bhakti Shuddhodaya. A person who circumambulating the deity of Vishnu can counteract the circumambulation of repeated birth and death in this material world. So if you circumambulate the temple, you don't have to circumambulate this material world. 84 lakh yoniyon se mukti. from 8.4 million species. So circumambulate the temple as much as possible. Do the parikrama of Vrindavan, Mayapur, of your own temple. Yeah, it's very important. The conditioned soul is circumambulating through the repeated births and deaths on account of his material existence. This can be counteracted simply by circumambulating the deity in the temple. Now, in our temple, if you have noticed, we don't have a space to circumambulate, but I've seen devotees doing circumambulation. You know how? They go inside the kitchen and then they come around in the car park and then do the parikrama. I was very impressed when I saw one devotee doing like that. He was doing 3 parikramas, like that. So he went around the whole temple, including the kitchen, car park, and then he did it. He said, I have to do parikrama. Like, wow, you know. So if you really wanted to, you can do. You can do. You can even do a car parikrama. Go around the street. Do the parikrama, huh? That's the main thing. Okay, Chaturmasya. If someone circumambulates the temple of Vishnu at least 4 times, it is understood that he has traveled all over the universe. By such circumambulation, one is understood to have seen all the holy places where the Ganges water is flowing, and by following the regulative principles of Chaturmasya, one can very quickly be raised to the platform of devotional service. So again, on special days, these things get a special significance. So God Purnima is coming, for example. So if you do any one of these limbs of devotional service on Gaur Purnima, it is more auspicious. So that's why we wait for these festivals. Madhava Tithi, Bhakti Janani. So Madhava Tithi means any festival days, Ram Navami, Gaur Purnima, Janmashtami. Bhakti, they're the mother of devotion. So take full benefit of these days. If you can take a day off, if possible for you, take day off and come to temple, spend a lot of time, do some seva, do extra rounds, 64 rounds. If you can't do, sit at home, do 90 rounds, whatever. Do something extra, because this extra will give you a big boost. It's like a bonus. Everyone loves bonus, huh? It gives you, like, 10,000% bonus. So Isthan, you do in Vrindavan, or Kal. Kal means Gaur Purnima, this is a Kal. So yeah, wait for these days and do something special. Giriraj Maharaj said, do not do parikrama of the deities when they are resting. We also discussed the same thing about doing pranam to the deities. Same thing Giriraj Maharaj is saying for parikrama, same thing. So make sure deities are able to reciprocate. Bhurijan Prabhu, Jiva Goswami mentions, if one doesn't perform bhakti with ruchi, taste, then bhava will never come. We can do these things mechanically, just following the order of Guru and Shastra, but bhava will not come in that way. We must follow these angas with ruchi, with understanding, which brings that taste. And this is the whole purpose why we are reading Nectar of Devotion, or Nectar of Instruction for that sake. So that we can get some ruchi. See, knowing something is one thing, but knowing with logic, that's another thing. That's why we're reading Prabhupada books in group. Every week, we are just going through it, trying to understand what is the meaning of that particular limb. It's just not a ritual. In India, we used to do many rituals. Our Dadi ji is doing, Mummy ji is doing, and that's why we do, which is nice. But then many times kids don't follow it. And by reading these books, we are getting a very different perspective, why they are important for us, so that we can get some ruchi, some bhava. And when we do the same devotional limb with that bhav, Krishna Prema will come very, very fast. Like we are discussing about the attentive chanting. So if you chant attentively, Krishna Prema will come running towards you very, very fast. Otherwise, mechanical things will still give you benefit. But again, the journey will be very, very long. And you may even break down on the way, because you will feel like it's a burden. Okay, Archanam. Everyone knows Archan. Archan means the deity worship, like in the morning after Tulsi Aarti, pujaris close the curtain and they decorate the Gopinath, they bathe Gopinath, they offer some things to Gopinath. All those things take 2 hours. So this is called Archanam. So Archana means worship the deity in the temple. By executing this process, one confirms himself to be not the body but a spirit soul. So these pujaris are very, very special, who are looking after Radha Gopinath. You'll see they look different. They do seva. I know some pujaris doing for like 25, 30 years. They've never missed out on their seva in last 3 decades. 10:81:19. Sudama, Krishna told Sudama, simply by worshipping Krishna, one can easily achieve all results of heavenly opulence, liberation, supremacy over the planetary systems of the universe, all the opulence of this material world, and the mystic power of performing the yoga system. Amazing statement, huh? Simply by worshipping Krishna. And that's why it says you should also have deities at home, although your home deities are expansion of the temple deities. So do not not serve temple deities because you have to serve home deities. Huh? So they are, if you serve temple deities, Prabhupada said, your home deities are automatically getting worship. Yeah, but if you can serve both, again, the service at home can be simplified on that day, for example. But the point is, temple deities take priority. Home deities are there just to make us feel we are still in the temple, because we may not be able to go temple every day or twice a day or something like that. Yeah. So whatever deities you have, God, Nitai, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Laddu Gopalji, or whichever, worship them nicely with some love, and they will reciprocate with you so much. Vishnu Rahasya, any person within this world who is engaged in the worship of Vishnu can very easily achieve the ever blissful kingdom of God, known as Vaikuntha Loka. Paricharya, rendering service to the Lord. Vishnu Rahasya, any person who can arrange for service to the Lord in the same way that a king is given service by his attendants is surely elevated to the abode of Krishna after death. Basically, it's saying you should worship deity as best as possible, not as least as possible. Like in India, many houses, if not all the houses, many houses have very nice worship. They will just offer one agarbatti once in a week or something, some ilaichi dana or something like that. Again, nice, but yeah, your owner of the house is sitting in a cupboard which you open once in a month. Spider webs are growing there. That's not very nice. That's not very nice. So you should deal the owner like a owner. So he's the owner of our house. He's the owner of our life. So treat him like a king. And if you do that, you will surely be elevated. It says, by giving to Lord, no one ever loses. So don't think I am giving. I gave $10,000 donation, Prabhuji. Yes, very nice, but whose donation it was? It was donated to you by that same owner first. When you came in this world, you didn't have even had a simple cloth on your body. And when you go from this world, you'll not take a cloth. So everything was given to you, and it's like offering the Ganges water back into the Ganges. But by doing that offering, you get benefits. So do that offering with that thought of, he was the owner anyway. I'm just a caretaker of that money or that house, and I'm giving a part of it back for his pleasure, and eventually give everything to him. Naradiya Puran, if a person stays in the Lord's temple, even for few moments, he can surely achieve the transcendental kingdom of God. Many people in India go to the temple just for like a 2 minutes. They will go in and they come out. When they go to cinema hall, they don't come out for 3 hours. But in the temple, only 2 minutes. Still okay. But yeah, the best thing is go and spend time. Why we are going to Dham, why we are going to temple? So that we are able to hear something from Shastra, from some sadhus, because in the temple some kirtan or katha will be going on, deities darshan will be going on, so you should go to get that benefit. So if you come out very quickly, you miss out on all on those benefits. So staying there is very, very beneficial as much as possible. Now, this it's little note by Bhurijan Prabhu. Every time one goes to temple, Prabhupada also said that, specifically if he lives outside, he should bring something for the deity. Huh? So bring something for the deity, a flower or a fruit, some money, whatever. And Maharaj said, if nothing is there, one at least should bring a prayer. So come in front of deities and offer some nice prayers to the deity. We'll read about the prayers today. The mood of offering something to the deity is very, very important. And I mentioned that Prabhupada said, when you come in front of deities and you feel like deities are asking you, what are you doing for me? Deities are asking you. Then it means you are making advancement. Instead of you asking to the deities, what are you doing for me? We should feel deities are asking. You remember when we were kids, our dad or grandfather will come home and they will bring all the veggies and all the grocery of the house. We were not interested. All we were interested in, hamari liye kya laye? What they have got for me. One samosa, one sweet, one chocolate or something like that. We were very much interested in what is in for me. So similarly, when we go to temple, we should treat Radha Gopinath like, okay, something, some flower, a leaf, doesn't cost anything, something, Gopinath, this is for you. Huh? And if nothing is there, at least offer yourself, offer some nice prayers. he likes it. Geet, singing for the Lord, very important. Linga Puran, a Brahman who is constantly engaged in singing the glories of the Lord is surely elevated to the same planet as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna appreciates this singing even more than the prayers offered by Lord Shiva. So this is from Linga Puran itself, which is Lord Shiva Puran. Yes, if you offer some geet for the pleasure of the Lord, it's very nice. Now you can say, okay, I don't have singing skills. You don't have to have singing skills. When you're a young kid, didn't speak very well, totally बोली में बोलते थे, mama, papa, would you like it or not like it? Hey, you rascal, you don't know how to speak properly. Don't speak. We will so eager to hear our kids saying papa, mama, uh, bua. So we loved those words. So if you offer anything to the Lord sincerely, Lord loves it. It says when Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was leaving this world, um, some of his disciples surrounding him were doing some kirtan. So Maharaj um, asked that person who was leading the kirtan, because he was very good in leading the kirtan, to give kartal to some other disciple who was not a very good singer actually. But Maharaj wanted to hear Hare Krishna mantra from that person because he was not a good singer, but was a very good devotee. Very good devotee. So we should try to hear these things from a very good devotee, not from anyone. Professional singers may sing very, very nicely, but that does not purify us. But a simple Hare Krishna Maha Mantra coming out from a pure devotee's mouth can purify us, liberate us, elevate us. So that's very powerful. It may not be very, fancy, but it is very, very beneficial spiritually. Sankirtanam. When a person loudly chants the glories of the Lord's activities, qualities, form, etc., his chanting is called Sankirtan. Sankirtan also refers to congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So we all understand Sankirtan means Samaya Kirtan, means complete glorification. Now, Kirtan here refers to singing the glories. It can be Hare Krishna Mahamantra sung in a group. It can be a class. You're hearing class from someone, that is also Sankirtan. Prabhupada, when his followers and disciples went out for book distribution, he called Sankirtan. Brahad Mridanga. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj coined this term called Brahad Mridanga. He said a simple Mridanga can only go up to an extent, but Brahad Mridanga, which is book distribution, it is the bigger Sankirtan. Why? It can go far and wide. A book can travel to the other part of the world very, very easily. A Mridanga noise cannot. It can only go up to few hundred meters, for example. So this Sankirtan is either singing together Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or reading the book together, or listening some class together, prasadam distribution. All these things, they're all Sankirtan, part of Sankirtan, because they are centered on one thing, glorify Krishna. Even building a new temple, that's also Sankirtan, because this is again for glory. Spreading the glories of Krishna. This is all Sankirtan. Now, Sankirtan can be of three types. Nam Sankirtan, which is again the holy name Sankirtan. Leela Sankirtan, we are reading or listening the Leelas of Krishna from Krishna book or Bhagavatam, for example. Guna Sankirtan, when we are hearing the gunas of Krishna. Now, you don't have to do a hair split analysis. Gun and Leela will be different. No, they are all intertwined in one sense, but again, they can be categorized as well. So if you read how compassionate Lord is, then someone will give you an example of that, which would be a Leela of Krishna. But the point here is there can be three types of Sankirtan: Nam Sankirtan, Leela Sankirtan, or Guna Sankirtan. Japa. You all understand Rupa Goswami writing that chanting a mantra or hymn softly and slowly is called japa, and chanting the same mantra loudly is called kirtan. So we all understand japa is like a very individual personal thing, and kirtan can be same Mahamantra, singing loudly with mridanga, kartal, harmonium, and all that will become a kirtan, and the bigger group is there, it's called sankirtan. But japa is like the soft japa, which is audible to your own ears, at least that's what Prabhupada said. A Mahamantra can be used for japa and kirtan as well. When japa is practiced, it is for the personal benefit of the chanter. When kirtan is performed, it is for the benefit of all others who may hear. That's why devotees go on Harinam party, because that benefits so many other jivas. Padma Puran, for any person who is chanting the holy name either softly or loudly, the paths to liberation or even heavenly happiness are at once open. Now, we know Haridas Thakur used to chant 192 rounds every day. So it says he will chant 64, 64, 64, 64. He will chant loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, like that. 64, he will chant softly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And 64, he will do in his mind. The reason was when he's chanting loudly Hare Krishna mantra, doing his japa, so that whoever hears that, because he's a pure chanter, including trees and animals and cockroaches and ants and all those jivas, they will get so much benefit. And that's why we should try to go on Harinams, because the Harinams are very, very popular. Very, very giving benefit to so many jivas. By you chanting alone in your house or even in temple, you're benefiting yourself. But when you go out, it gives benefit to so many jivas. And especially if you go out in a group, the energy is a lot. Number 35, submission or vigyapti. That's a Sanskrit word. This is very nice. Opening the mind, offering words or sentiments. Submission means personally composed prayers that express your own sentiments. So vigyapti refers to your heartfelt prayers from your heart coming out in front of the Lord. Skanda Puran, there's a statement about submission unto the lotus feet of the Lord. It is said that those who are sober devotees can offer their submission to Krishna in the following three ways. So the number one is samprarthanatmika. So samprarthana atmika. So you can say the three words are there combined together. Danya bodhika and lalasa mai. It says V, but actually it should be B. Danya bodhika. So in three different ways you can express your emotions. So there's something called Vigyapti, and the next one will be coming Stav part. We'll talk about it. So basically, Vigyapti means offering your own heartfelt prayers to Krishna, whatever comes in your heart. And that can be expressed in three ways. So Samprarthanatmika, one is the one who's offering very feeling prayers for the Lord, for the spontaneous service of the Lord. So you're offering from the very core of your heart, please, Lord, I don't have attraction for you. Can you please help me to have attraction for you? And the example given is in Padma Puran, there's a verse which says, as a young boy is attracted to a young girl, or a young girl is attracted to a young boy, oh my dear Lord, give me the same spontaneous attraction towards you. The point which Prabhupada is making here, a young boy doesn't need to get trained how to get attracted to a girl. He doesn't have to go to school, do a certification and get a degree, then he will get attracted. No, every single one by default, when they are young, they just get automatically attracted. Male, female attraction. It's just there. It's just there. But when you see the Lord, when you see Bhagavad Gita, when Bhagavatam exams are coming, then you're not attracted, you're sleepy. You're like, Kab khatam hoga? So this devotee is praying to the Lord. As we have a spontaneous attraction towards other gender, can we have the similar spontaneous attraction towards you? So it says, Samprathatmika, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, are the prayers which are done by those who are not yet at bhava stage. Because if you are at bhava stage, you will have a spontaneous attraction for the Lord. You have gone through asakti stage. So anyone who is not at bhava stage will do prarthana for the spontaneous service of the Lord. They are called samprarthana atmika. So I've quoted the example. This is BRS 12153, also referred in Chaitanya Charitamrita CC Madhya 22:122. So this verse is mentioned at many, many places. Second one is Danya Bodhika. As you can see with the word Danya. Danya means humility. So expressing oneself as very, very humble servant of the Lord. Now here humility, just a side note though, here humility does not refer to self-pity, that I am so low, I am so useless, I am worthless, nothing like that. It says a devotee is humble, but that humility is like false ego rejected. Chaitanya Prabhu says this. So humility in a devotee is false ego rejected, but in another person who's being like really low and he's suffering from inferiority complex, this is false ego frustrated. So a person suffering from inferiority complex, which is like he doesn't have any great qualities. He want to be very successful, but he doesn't have qualities to be successful. He want to impress others, but he doesn't have qualities to impress others. He want to become topper. He want to become number one in everything, but he doesn't have those qualities. But he want to be, because he can't, which he want to be, he get very frustrated. So this is called false ego frustrated. And he is, will be doing so much facade to maintain his that image which he want to show, like Duryodhan. Duryodhan was always showing an image which he was not. And Pandavas were naturally devotees. Yudhishthira was naturally a devotee, was naturally exhibiting Arjun and other Pandava. They're naturally exhibiting those qualities. Duryodhan didn't. And that's why he always felt inferiority complex towards Pandavas. But a devotee is not like that. Devotee is not looking to be number one. Huh? He wants to serve Lord at the best, but he doesn't want to become famous. He wants to make Krishna in the center rather than him being in the center. He doesn't like being him in the center. He likes Krishna to be in the center. And for that, he works very, very hard. And he's very, very humble because he doesn't want those likes and number one and this competitive mentality. So this is the difference. So when we're talking about this Danya Bodhika prayers, we should not think that this devotee is also suffering from some inferiority complex, and that's why they are saying that. Now the examples of Danya Bodhika prayers are many examples of there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written a song, Amara Gopinath, Amara Jivan Sada Pape Rate Na Kichu Mora Guna. Huh? So my Jivan, my life is full of faults, full of pap. Kichu Nai Mora Guna. I don't have any other qualities. Hey Gopinath, please be merciful on me. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, obviously, he's a seventh Goswami, very, very elevated Vaishnava, but he's representing a conditioned soul. So this is what our situation is. We have so many sins in our life. Huh? So we have to come over it. So one example is Narottam Das Thakur's song, Mosama Patita Prabhu Na Paibe Ara. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More. So he's praying to Sri Krishna Chaitanya that I am so patit that you will not find any other patit other than me. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying anyone who hears my name, who chants my name, will get rid of all his punyas just by chanting my name or hearing my name. So he's so humble. But at the same time, you see all in these prayers, eventually they say, although I'm so low, but my dear Lord, you have been so merciful on me that you have accepted a person as lowly as me, but you have accepted me. Huh? And a person suffering from inferiority complex, he will just stop in number one. I'm so low. I'm so low. Once, the person went to Prabhupada and he said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen one. And Prabhupada said, you are most nothing. You are most nothing. Because when we say most, even the most fallen, we are saying basically, lazy people say like that. Most fallen means that I cannot perform the devotional service, basically. I can't come for Manglarti. I can't come for festivals. I can't be part of any sevas. This is actually laziness. And Prabhupada says, you are most nothing. Huh? Basically, you are saying you are most fallen. That means I'm so fallen that Krishna doesn't have potency to uplift me. Isn't it? But that statement is wrong because Krishna is always the most powerful. He said even one name of Krishna, what to speak of Krishna, one name of Krishna can counteract so many sinful reactions which he cannot even commit. So what to speak of Krishna? So Prabhupada said, you are most nothing. So we should never think we are the most fallen one because we are not the most fallen one. We can be the fallen one. We are fallen ones. We are not the most one. Because Krishna, our acharyas are very, very compassionate. And this process is very, very powerful. Mragari, Ratnakar Daku, and so many examples in Shastra, Angulimal, they have come up. They have come up from all their sinful activities and they became the gurus, the Param Vaishnavas, Uttam Koti Vaishnavas. So we all have hope, no matter what our background is and what the past was. So this Dhyani Bodhika prayers are very nice, and we should sing them just to get the proper mood, because many times our ego comes in this process. Third one is Lalsa Mai. So Lalsa Mai means it's a very advanced level of prayers. Lalsa Mai means you have an intense, very dense, dark desire to do some seva. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says, a person who has achieved the stage of bhava will be singing Lalsa Mai prayers. And the example can be Radha Krishna Pranamora, Jugala Kishore. In that stanza, one of the stanza is Chamara Dulabo Kabe Charana Ravinda. So when I will be able to do chamar to Radha and Krishna. So this is an intense desire in that devotee. And this intense desire in that devotee is called Swarupa Siddhi, because he is aware of his Swarupa in the spiritual world and is desiring to exhibit the same Swarupa which is not exhibiting right now. So this is called Swarupa Siddhi. So it's a very, very advanced stage of those acharyas who have sung these prayers, because they know their Swarupa, eternal Swarupa in the spiritual world. So, Samprarthatmika, then Bodhika, and Lalsamai, they are under the Vigyapti or submission. This is how we should submit ourselves in front of the Lord, our own intense, deep prayers, heartfelt prayers. Okay, for Lalsamai, Prabhupada has written something, so I'll just read. Very nice. This eagerness is chiefly characterized by an ardent desire to associate with the Lord. Desiring some perfectional stage, this desiring some perfectional stage in spiritual life is not sense gratification. So we should not think, oh, this devotee has become very egoistic. No, it's not like that. He is very advanced devotee. When one realizes something of his constitutional relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he understands his original position and wants to reinstate it. Wants to be reinstated in this position, either as a friend, servant, parent, or conjugal lover of Krishna. That is called Lalasamai, or very eagerly desiring to go to one's natural position. This Lalasamai stage of submission comes in the stage of perfect liberation, which is technically called Swarupa Siddhi. When living entity understands by perfect spiritual advancement and revelation his original relationship with the Lord. Jiva Goswami's commentary, O lotus-eyed, when will I dance on the bank of Yamuna with the tears in my eyes while singing your holy names? Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, BRS 1 to 156. Superficially, this appears to be a prayer of someone who has not manifested bhav. Since he is praying for it, some prarthana belongs to someone without the appearance of bhava, which he already mentioned by Vishwanath Thakur, written here as well. So whereas lalasa prayers or with the intense longing belong to a person who has manifested bhava. So there's a little difference there. Again, these are very advanced stages. We can just read them as it is, sing them. One time, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was asked how to get love of Godhead, how much it will cost. So Babaji Maharaj said 25 paisa. And this person was very baffled. 25 paisa, you can buy love of Godhead? He said, yes. Go to the market and buy the book called Prarthana by Narottam Das Thakur. And by singing those bhajans, you'll get a proper mood of seva. So we should sing in our home, in temple, or in some congregation. We should sing these bhajans. They're very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. 36. Okay, Sanjay Prabhuji has a question or a comment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhu, sorry, I want to come back to the most fallen point you were sort of talking about. And Prabhu, sorry, just a general sort of observation as well, that I do see that when someone sort of says that they're most fallen, then there seems to be a certain reservation from devotees that they don't necessarily like this sort of calling out from others. But what if it's a genuine call out from a person who, suppose they're trying everything to progress in Krishna consciousness, but still they're not able to completely control their senses or not able to progress, and they're genuinely expressing, especially, when devotees are sort of making offerings during Vyas Puja and so forth, this sort of term comes out in the offerings, like, I'm the most fallen. But what if someone genuinely actually means it, that they have a feeling? How can they say it differently? What is an alternative phrase that they can say to sort of express that point, that they're trying everything to not be envious, to not have sort of negative qualities, but still they're not able to overcome those negative qualities?
Yeah. When Maharaj gave this answer, so I'll try to repeat his answer. First thing is, we should not use the word most fallen, because as I just mentioned, you are most nothing. So, okay, you can use the word fallen, which is true, and everyone knows their weaknesses. So that's one thing. Now, as you said, they're trying, but they're not able to overcome their material weaknesses, for example. So Maharaj gave, Radhagovind Maharaj disciple, Gaur Krishna Maharaj, he gave this example very nicely. He said, our job is to do sadhana and Krishna's job is to clean us up. Our job is to do sadhana, follow Guru's instruction. So for us, Prabhuji, the only one thing we have to worry about, positives. Your Guru has given you instruction, for example, ABC. You just follow ABC. Don't worry about what weaknesses you have. Huh? So you can try. I'm not saying you should not try at all. You're just lying to Vaishnavas and all that. No. The point here which I'm trying to make, your focus should be on an active engagement given by Guru. All the weaknesses will go away just by following that instruction. My Guru Maharaj said, don't worry about too many negatives in your life, weaknesses in your life. Just worry about what you can do for Krishna. Because when you do what you can do for Krishna, you get strength. You get strength. And slowly over the period of time, you will get so much strength that, suppose, to counteract a negative, we need 100 units of strength. Just an example. You don't have it today. But by following what you can do for Krishna, what you are good at doing for Vaishnavas and Krishna, one unit, one day you'll have 100 unit of strength to say no to that negative one day. And Maharaj clearly said, you just focus on your Guru's instruction. Don't worry about these negatives. Negatives will go automatically. One more thing my Guru Maharaj said, I'll just try to give his example. He said, all the negative desires, again, they're possible. Keep it on the upper shelf. Don't say no to them. Don't say no. Just keep it on the upper shelf. I'll just come back. No, don't go anywhere. Please don't go. I'll just come back. And you go and serve Krishna. And another negative thought comes. Yes, yes, I'll surely attend you. Just wait. As Haridas Thakur did to this Mataji, Lakshagira. I'll surely fulfill your desire, Mataji. Just wait. Just wait. And sorry, I'm just finishing my rounds. And as soon as I finish my round, I'll fulfill your desire. So any sort of these are, again, where possible. But even if you fail, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu clearly says, don't worry about what happens on the spikes. Worry about what happens in between the spikes. Suppose one spike was on Monday to do some sinful activity, one spike is on Sunday. Don't worry about Monday and Sunday. Worry about what you can between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What happens? We get so much bogged up with Monday and Sunday that we don't do even next 5 days. So really this process is so nice. Everyone has their own weaknesses. Everyone has their own conditioning. They will take their own time to overcome that. But the point here is follow the positive. Prabhupada did not instruct too much to these hippies. Unless you give up your alcohol, you cannot come into my temple. Unless you give up your, other habits, bad habits. He said, no, you come, eat rasgulla, gulab jamun, hear the classes, chant Hare Krishna, and they became purified. Some took longer than others, but they all got purified. So Prabhu, the answer is don't worry too much. Focus on positive. Focus on positive.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Istav Pathasya, which is called reciting notable prayers. I'll read it first and I'll explain it. It's very nice. Srimad Bhagavatam, there are hundreds of prayers to the Lord, so a devotee should select some of these prayers for his recitation. In Skand Puran, the glories of these prayers are stated as follows. Devotees whose tongues are decorated always with prayers to Lord Krishna are always given respect even by the great saintly persons and sages, and such devotees are actually worshipable by the demigods. So basically, it's also offering prayers. The previous one, submission or Vigyapti, is also offering prayers, but that one is you offering your own prayers. For example, Gajendra spoke his own heart to the Lord. Now we call it Gajendra Stotra. Now, for him, it was his own prayers, it was Vigyapti, but for us, it will become a stav. So we are reading Gajendra's prayer. So we're reading Kunti Maharani's prayer. We are reading Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. So we are not so great, at least I'm not. So we can't make our own prayers. So in that meanwhile, we should follow the prayers of our acharyas, Bhakti Thakur prayers, Narottam Das Thakur bhajans. They're all prayers. So we should read them and try to ask for mercy from these devotees, Prahlad Maharaj, Kunti Maharani, Narottam Das Thakur, Bhakti Thakur, so that we can get a proper mood as these authors of these prayers had. So once we have this mood, it will greatly help us to progress in our bhakti nicely. And as written here by Skanda Puran, you will be respected greatly by other sages. Now it also says sometime reading these prayers or cramming these verses are like a burden, huh? You feel like burden. In Bhakti Shastri exam, you expect to recite, 10 verses, and it's very, very difficult. So actually, they may look like a burden, but once you know these prayers, they are actually very, very sweet. Just by reciting them, even if you don't understand, it says you get purification. And by reciting them with some bhava, you get the same bhava of the author. So if you're reciting, say, Kunti Maharani prayers, you'll also get the bhava of Kunti. If you're sincerely reciting these prayers of Kunti Maharani and praying to Kunti Maharani. So they are very, very nice. And slowly what will happen, instead of becoming burden to your head, it will unburden your heart. Because by reciting a verse, you feel so good actually. Some problem comes in your life and you remember Kunti Maharani prayers 1:825. Vibda Shantata Shastra Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Someone is very puffed up, you say, Janma Shara Shuddha Shri Bhir Edamana Madhapuman. Oh, this person is. So actually, it becomes very sweet experience. So instead of burdening your head, it says it will unburden your heart. So in the initial phases, it may seem like, but if we have a habit of reading these verses of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so slowly you will see, you will have a very sweet relationship with that Shastra, and that Shastra will come in your heart soon. Prasannatma Prabhu, sorry, you had a hand earlier as well.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Just wanted, what is the difference between Laulyam and Lalasa, Prabhu?
Lolya and Lalasa, same.
Same.
Lolya is lalach, Lalsa is a desire, very intense desire. So
Lalasa is intense desire.
Lalsa, yes. So Lalsa is very intense desire. Lolya is greed. Similar thing.
Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna.
So do we understand the difference between 35 and 36? So 35 is your own prayers and 36 is you're reading someone else's prayers. That's called Istava part. And we have so many prayers which we can choose. Now just one more reference which Prabhupada gave from Narsingha Puran. Any person who comes before the deity of Lord Krishna and begins to chant different prayers is immediately relieved from all the reactions of sinful activities and become eligible without any doubt to enter into the Vaikuntha Loka. So when you go in front of Radha Gopinath, you should pray something. If you don't know anything, chant Hare Krishna. But yeah, you can also recite some devotees' prayers. Prasanna Prabhu, you still have some other question or?
No, Prabhu. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, your hand was still up, so
Yeah.
no problem.
Okay.
37, that's the most interesting one. Partaking of prasad, everyone loves it. Others we don't know about it, but 37 we all love it. Swado Nevedya. Nevedya means one which is being offered to the Lord, and Swado means you partake, you honor. Padma Puran, a person who honors the prasad and regularly eats it immediately can achieve the result of pious activities which are obtained through 10,000 performance of sacrificial rites. So this is the most amazing one, most interesting one. From young children to the older generation, everyone loves it. Please have it, no problem. Prabhupada said, by having every bite of prasad, you are going back to Godhead. So yeah, make nice bhoga for your deities or Radha Gopinath and honor it, no problem, and distribute it as well. Drinking Charanamrit, Swado Padyayoho. Padma even a person who has never been able to give in charity, who has never been able to perform great sacrifice, who has never been able to study the Vedas, who has never been able to worship the Lord, or in other words, even one who has never done any pious activities will become eligible to enter into the kingdom of God if he simply drinks the Charanamrit which is kept in the temple. So this Charnamrit, we should not take it just like a simple water. It's very, 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 very important. So whenever you visit the temple, you make sure you must get Charnamrit of the Lord. Even if Lord is resting, at least you can honor Charnamrit of the Lord because it is so powerful. As this verse is saying, even if you have no other piety in your life, just by having Charnamrit, you become eligible to receive the mercy. Yes, Mataji or Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Clarify something regarding this partaking of prasad. We chant this Mahaprasade Govinde, and but I've heard somewhere that during Ekadashi day, we are not supposed to chant the whole of it. We just chant half of it. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
very clear on that.
Yeah, the part say Annamrita Pav. So there says Anna Amrit Pav. So because you're not honoring Anna that day, so you skip that line. Say an Amrit Pav, Radha Krishna Gun Gao. So skip that line of say an Amrit Pav. So you can just say Radha Krishna Gun Gao. And now that needs some practice. So you understand the logic? Because you're not taking Anna. So you're saying Anna Amrit Pav, which is wrong that day. So
So
skip
just that
that line.
half of it you avoid.
Not half, just one line.
One
Say an
line.
Amrit Pav. You just avoid that line. You just straight away jump to the next line, which is Radha Krishna Gun Gao. So the logic is there is no Anna on that day. Now, somewhere it says you should not eat Anna and you should also not distribute Anna on that day. So, yeah, again, there are situations where you'll be doing it like Food for Life goes and they send the khichdi there. But the point here is as much as possible, give Ekadashi prasad to others on that day. And again, as I said, there may be situations where temple himself will be distributing it, but that's a separate sort of discussion. But as an individual, if possible, if you're giving to someone else, try to give Ekadashi Prasad on that day. Okay. Okay, 39 is smelling the incense and flowers offered to the deity, Dhupya Malyadi Saurabhyam, Hari Bhakti Shuddhodaya. It says, when the devotees smell the good flavor of the incense which is offered to the deity, they thus become cured of the poisonous effect of material contamination, as much as one becomes cured of the snake bite by smelling the prescribed medicinal herb. So this is very nice. So when these flowers from the Lord lotus feet, they come out, we should honor them very nicely. You would have seen some devotees, they smell so nicely. Some will just put their head down. So make sure you respect it nicely. Not too much, not too little, but the point is you meditate on that Lord who has given these flowers for our benefit, because we are getting cured of the material disease. Some brahmacharis I've seen that long, nice, deep smell. I really like it. They're honoring it very nicely. You should not feel shy in getting those smells nicely. Just give me more, Prabhuji. Okay. Tantra Shastra, if the smell of the garland which was offered to the deity in the temple enters into a person's nostril, immediately his bondage to sinful activities becomes clear. This is amazing, huh? Just when the garland, sometimes some devotees bring Radharani garlands at 9 o'clock aarti or something. It's so nice, huh? You should just honor nicely and be very, very happy. Feel so fortunate about it. There are several instances of this, a prime one being the advancement of the four Kumaras. They were impersonalist Mayavadis, but after smelling the remnants of the flowers and incense in the temple, they turned to become devotees. So we know this example of four Kumaras. They became devotees just by the smell, actually. So the smell is extremely powerful. This is a side note, which we have done it. I'll just read the blue line. It is a regulative principle that one should not go to see a saintly person or the deity in the temple without any offering. So make sure you get something. Again, it's not just a ritual. It's a very nice thing. Number 40, Sri Murte Sprashtir, touching the deity. So one who touches the body of the deity following such a regulative principle is immediately delivered from the contamination of material sins, and all of his desires become fulfilled without delay. You'd have seen pujaris after they finish the puja, they offer their pranams, they offer the aparad shodhan mantra, and they touch the deity's feet. So at home also, if you're not doing it, you should do it. After your arti, whatever morning or evening arti you do, you should touch the feet of the deities. Seeing the deity, Sri Murte Ikshanam, Varaha Puran. My dear Vasundhara, this is Prithvi Devi, Varaha Dev speaking. Any person who goes to Vrindavan and see the deity of Govind Dev is free from the courthouse of Yamraj. Hari Bol. So if you've gone to Vrindavan, have seen Krishna Balram, Bake Bihari, Govind Ji, Radha Shyam Sundar, you are not going to go to the courthouse of Yamraj. Some people don't seem to be so happy about it. Okay, they have some other things going on in their mind. I'm very happy and is allowed to enter into the highest planetary system in which reside the demigods. This is at least, Prabhupada said, many of my disciples will go to Swargloka. So even if you're not perfected in your devotional life, you will enter into Swargloka. Now that should not become encouragement. Actually, it's a discouragement, because by the time you finish your journey to Swargloka and come back to earthly planets, it will be too late. Kali Yuga will be on the prime, and there will be hardly any temples or books of Prabhupada. Then the deliverance of you will be very, very difficult. But it's a valid statement. Even if you're unsuccessful devotee, you will end up in a higher planetary systems. So devotion must be performed, and yeah, try to perform it 100%. This means that even an ordinary person who goes to Vrindavan out of inquisitiveness and by chance sees the temple, especially that of Govindadev, even if he is not elevated to the spiritual kingdom, is still assured promotion to the higher planetary system. You go to Vrindavan and there's so much crowd. Not everyone is a devotee, but they come to Vrindavan for whatever little faith they have. They're also getting so much benefit. Every single person who visits Vrindavan or Dham or even our temple, they all get benefit. This means that simply by visiting the deity of Govinda in Vrindavan, one becomes highly elevated in pious life. So sometimes these things are seen very gross, like no change is happening, but actually the change is happening. Change is happening. It's just a matter of time when it will get manifested outside. Number 42, I think this is the last one for this chapter, observing Arati and celebrations of the Lord. So this is very important. We should observe the Arati, and celebrations refers to again Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, Ram Navami festivals. Iskand Puran, if someone sees the face of the Lord while Arati is going on, he can be relieved of all sinful reactions coming from many, many thousands and millions of years past. He is even excused from killing of a Brahman or similar prohibited activities. So it says when we go to the temple, again, Darshanarti, for example, you should go there and stay there, not like go in and come out and have a chit chat in the car park. It says if you enter into the temple room and the Arti is going on, you should not leave the temple till they blow the Shankha. So in between Shankha to Shankha, possible. Suppose Arti starts at 7 o'clock, you arrived at 7:10, for example. You must stay back till 7:25 or something, till the time Pujari blow the conch shell. You should not leave. It's considered disrespectful. So try to attend the whole Aarti. If not, whenever you enter, don't come out till the Shankha is blown unless you have another high priority seva or something. The point is respectful because Aarti is going on. You enter. Now in Aarti, definitely, and I've seen some devotees, do not talk. कैसे हैं आप? क्या हो रहा है? Aarti is going on. Why you have to ask all these things? Huh? With your hand or with your eyes, you can say Hare Krishna, and that's it. There's nothing needs to be spoken while these artis are going on, and you should not come out. Yeah, when Shankha is blown, then you can come out for other seva. There are different ceremonies to be observed, such as the birthday of Krishna, birthday of Lord Ramchandra, and other birthdays. Bhavish Puran says, in such a ceremony, even if Chandal, simply out of curiosity, sees the Lord on the cart, he becomes counted as one of the associates of Lord Vishnu. So imagine if you go with devotion on Gaur Purnima and pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how great he will consider you. Okay, chapter 9 is finished. Any questions or comments before we step into the next chapter? Everyone is good? Now again, please remember Bhurijan Prabhu's comment. We are not reading this for knowledge. We are reading all this for application purpose. So please try. It's all written from Prabhupada books. So please make some notes and try to adopt at least few of the principles, if not all of them. And slowly increase. And slowly what will happen? You will get absorbed in those nice limbs of devotional service. And yeah, a lot of spiritual benefits are coming through that. Sakhi Radhika Mataji.
So just a quick question. Like for in terms of Vaishnava Aparadh, last time you explained very nicely. But just that, Prabhu, if the whole family is devotees only, everybody is Vaishnava, and even the Prabhu and everybody, and we commit so many aparadh towards the family members, will
Yeah,
our bhakti go down or?
yeah. My Guru Maharaj responded to that question and he said, as far as your intention was not to hurt someone, one is the intention, one is action. Sometimes in that moment, speak up something, but you didn't mean to hurt that person, a wife or a husband or a kid like that. That's not an offense. Huh? That's not an offense. Sometimes with your kids, you have to be strong. Sometimes you may like few things of your husband or wife. Sometimes you may not like. As far as your intention to bring them down is not there, that's not an aparadh. But again, you have to be careful at the same time. Don't take this too complacent. They are Vaishnava. They are initiated. They're chanting. They're participating in different sevas of the Lord. So yeah, even if you know some of their weaknesses, we should not take any benefit or, something like that. Don't tell others. All those sort of things. Keep it to yourself. And even if you tell others, tell the principle, not the details, because sometimes we go so much detail, the principle should be followed. Details, we can't control. How the sky is today, who can control that? But yeah, principle. So yeah, try to follow as much as possible, but as far as your intention wasn't there to hurt that person. And when you realize, go back and ask for forgiveness. You should not just go to your friends. You should also go to your Prabhu or Mataji and ask for forgiveness. What's wrong in that? Yeah, so again, I think I've repeated this again and again. Our heart should be clean before we leave the body. If someone else is not forgiving you, that's his or her business. That we cannot control. Our heart should be clean. And one more point, Sarbham Prabhu says very nicely, he says these prayers are very, very important. And one of the reasons he said prayers are important, because when you pray to Krishna that in my heart, I have no enmity towards this person, A, for example, right? But A is not listening me or not forgiving me, for example. So Krishna, because you sit in my heart, you sit in A's heart, can you please tell A that I have no ill feelings towards this Vaishnava or Vaishnavi? So Krishna will inspire in A's heart to forgive you. That's why we should pray very nicely. We should pray very nicely. One more thing which comes out, sometimes we become too friendly to each other and we start, not respecting. So always respect that person, again, a Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi, from their services and advancement, not from their weaknesses, which you may be aware of. They are doing a lot of seva, for example, in a community, in a temple. So from their advancement point of view, you sort of talk to them or you communicate with them, not from, I know you for last 20 years, all those things. Everyone has their own weaknesses. We should not just, again, over focus on those weaknesses and trying to take some benefit of that. Be positive. Be positive. Again, in a moment, if something happens, it's not an offense. It's not an offense. My Guru Maharaj gave one example. You're walking in a room which is filled with Vaishnavas, and you touch someone's body with your feet, for example. You say sorry, Prabhuji or Mataji, something, but that's not an offense. You accidentally did it. You didn't mean to do it. Like that. So similarly at home as well. Yeah. Don't worry too much, but at the same time, you see them as Vaishnava. They are Vaishnava, and follow the principle. And if something accidentally happens, ask for forgiveness. There should not be any ego between these two people or four peoples. Okay. Chapter 10, Techniques of Hearing and Remembering. Now, out of those limbs, whatever we have read so far, 42. Now, again, we have to understand all these topics which are coming. The chapters which are coming, they are not in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These chapters are completely divided and titled by Srila Prabhupada. So he has grouped certain topics in his mind and he has given them as chapter. This is not the division of Rupa Goswami. So Prabhupada has grouped these things because that's very important. So Prabhupada has grouped these some limbs of devotional service together, and he thought techniques of hearing and remembering, because this is one of the most important things, should be grouped together. So he has given this chapter 10. Now there are, I think, 7 if I'm not wrong. Okay, 4. Sorry, 4. 4 will be explained in this chapter: Shravanam, Tatkrapekshanam, Smritir, and Dhyanam. So let's look at them one by one. Shravanam, we all know the Shravan, hearing the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. Now, Shravanam is the first limb, as Prahlad Maharaj also says, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So, Prabhupada says our bhakti starts from Shravan. So, the more you hear, the better you become. Now, what does Shravan mean? If you ask me a simple definition, as per our acharyas, the Shravan means you hear from an advanced devotee. Simple. Not just you hear anything from anyone. I hear, I'll not name it, a musician very popular in India who sings bhajan as well, but he has to drink alcohol before he sings. He sings very nicely. So he sings very nicely, he's very attractive, very, very popular, very big person in India, but we don't have to hear him. Rather, we hear a simple Vaishnava who's chanting or singing solely for the pleasure of the Lord. His tune may not be the best. So hearing means you hear from an advanced devotee. Simple. So if this advanced devotion is not there, try to hear from advanced devotee, try to hear, because they are very, very pure and their words will pierce the layers of anarthas in our heart, and then the layers will become very, very weak and we'll become devotee pretty fast. So Shravanam, very, very important. One of the most powerful limbs, you can say. It is the starting point and it's the end point as well. So you start hearing Krishna Katha to enter, to become a devotee, for example, and you end with hearing as well. That means you keep hearing, you never stop hearing. Now, hearing can also be of three types. Rupa Goswami says, Nam Shravan, Charita Shravan, and Gunadi Shravan. Now, again, as I said in the previous slide, there will always be overlaps in between. You cannot just separate. Holy name always comes with some pastimes of guna of the Lord as well. So, but some category has been made. So, generally speaking, so when you're hearing the holy name, you're hearing a kirtan, you're participating in the kirtan, that is Nam Shravan. Some singer is singing, you're following that singer, for example. That's the Nam Shravan. Charita Shravan, Charita means Charitra of Krishna, characteristics, pastimes, leelas of Krishna, and Gun Adi refers to gunas, qualities of Krishna. He's very compassionate, he's very kind, he's very patient. All these 64 qualities Rupa Goswami gave in NOD, these are all known as Gunadi Shravan, hearing the glorification and qualities of the Lord. The beginning of Krishna consciousness and devotion services. Hearing in sense is called Shravanam. Lord Chaitanya has affirmed that this hearing is very, very important. It cleanses the heart of the contaminated soul so that he becomes quickly qualified to enter into devotional service and understand Krishna consciousness. Arjun gave oral reception to such vibrations, and thus he became freed from all the illusion of material problems. Prabhupada gave a beautiful example. If a person is sleeping, how can you wake him up? By shouting, Mr. John, get up. Huh? Jeev jago, Gaura Chandra bole. Huh? So we are all sleeping in the lap of Maya, which is ignorance. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his representative come and they shout, then we wake up. Sometimes we're still sleeping. So this hearing is extremely important. And now for each Nam, Charit, and Gunadi Shravan, Prabhupada gave 3 examples. So we'll read that. Yeah, one more line, very nice. Recommendation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one should simply hear from authorities who are actually devotees of Lord. Hearing from professional men will not help. We already discussed that. So for Nam Shravan, Prabhupada gave example from Garuda Puran. The stress on hearing is expressed very nicely. When a man is snake bitten, he does not die immediately, but first he becomes unconscious and remains in comatose condition. Anyone who is in the material world is also sleeping, and he is ignorant of his actual self or his actual duty and his relationship with God. So materialistic life means that one is bitten by the snake of Maya illusion. So we are all bitten by a snake. Some are bitten with a higher degree of poison, some are bitten with a lower degree of poison. But the point is, no matter what degree of poison you have in your body, but expert snake charmer, now you may not have seen it, but in India it happens. Huh? Just by chanting some mantras, they can suck the poison out of your body. So similarly, by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or any other similar vibrations coming from Goloka, your snake-bitten condition will be relieved. Because unless you do that, there's no other way to overcome Maya. Devi he Shai Gunamai, Mama Maya Duratyaya. My Maya is very, very Duratya, very, very Duratya. But if you take shelter of Krishna, if you take shelter of his holy name, if you take shelter of Krishna Nam, Krishna Katha, Krishna Dham, all these shelters, if you take, then this biting of a snake will not work. Similarly, one can be brought back into the Krishna consciousness from the deadly unconscious state of material life by hearing of the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that is for Nam Shravan, which is Garuda Puran example. Now from Bhagavatam, we have example of Charita Shravan. This is 429:40. If someone eagerly continues to hear such transcendental sounds, then certainly he will become freed from all material hunger, thirst, fear, and lamentation, as well as all illusions of the material existence. So Krishna ka Charita Shravan, very, very important. That's why Bhagavatam hearing is very important. When Brahmachari was giving class and he said, no matter what happens in the material world, you should always look after your BB. And I'm like, what? You should always look after your BB. And then he explained what this BB is. Anyone guess what this BB is? He's a brahmachari. B is your bead bag. Another B is Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So if you are holding on to these two things, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and your bead bag, that's it. Everything else is secondary, no matter what happens. He said it doesn't really matter. He said after 10 years, all these important goals of your life will not matter much. Is it true? 10 years before, what mattered to you is still of the same importance to you? No. And after 10 years, what is very important to you today, that will also change. What after 10 years? Even after 5 years, it may change. So your goals of life, your priorities in life will keep changing. That's the way the life goes on. But once you chant the holy name, once you get in touch with Krishna, that will never change. Even 100,000 lifetimes later, your Sukrati will still be with you. Is it right or wrong? That Sukrati will be there. Your priority, how much marks you got in the exam, who will care? Even you won't know. Do any one of you remember your BSc exam results? I don't. That time it was so important. 71%, 72%, and this college and that college, and this exam was right. That teacher was very bad. It's all gone, finished. 20 years passed. You are here now. 10 years ago, some other importance was the ghar lena hai. Ho gaya ghar. So what? It's still miserable. ये करना है, वो करना है, I want to do this, I want to achieve this. Everything will be very, very non-important. So take Krishna the most serious thing. Keshav Maharaj always says, if you give priority to Krishna in your life, Krishna will give you priority in his life. So if you want to be prioritized by Krishna, prioritize Krishna in our life today. Give the best to Krishna and his representatives. Okay, Gunadi Shravan. Prabhupada gives example of 12.3.15. A person who desires unalloyed devotional service to Lord Krishna should always hear about his glorification and transcendental qualities. This will surely kill all kinds of inauspiciousness in the heart. So Sanjay Vyas Prabhu, sorry, just one more quotation in the Bhagavatam. So all the inauspiciousness in the heart will be killed by hearing about Krishna. So keep hearing, keep hearing, keep hearing. It's so powerful and it's so nice actually. And all glories to internet, YouTube makers. They have made our life very easy. But it should not replace going to temple and hearing in person as well. So sometimes you should go to temple in person, obviously, and hear from a person who is speaking, participate in some seva. Very, very purifying. Okay, the second one in this chapter, number 44, in the verse 3, Tat Krapekshanam, which is expecting Lord's mercy. So devotee is always very, very hopeful that one day Lord will give me his mercy. Although I'm very, very unqualified, I have all the faults, not the most fallen, but I'm fallen. I have so many faults, but Lord will give me mercy. And Prabhupada gives this famous example, 10.14.8. This is the prayers of Brahmaji. And Brahmaji is praying this famous verse. I'll just read it. Tattenukampa susamikshmano bhunjan evatma kritam vipakam hid vag vapurvir vidadham namaste jivet yo mukti pade sadaya bhag. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So beautiful verse. I'm sure everyone knows this verse. So two things are very, very important. It says, Bhunjan evatma kritam vipakam. So bhunjan means bhogte hai. So you are suffering. Suppose you're enjoying or suffering some of your reactions. Again, good and bad, both. Eva atma kritam. Atma kritam means maine hi kiya hai. I have done it. So when a reaction is coming to you, you should not blame your neighbor. Don't blame this person, that person. Actually, I take the responsibility. I take this. No, again, externally, you do what you have to do. That's not the point. Internally, we're talking internally, you should feel I'm responsible for it. Atma kartam vipakam. I have done it, so I deserve it. I deserve it. But while I am suffering it, what I should do, so I'm suffering some reactions of my own deeds. While I'm saying what I should do, hirde vag vapur. So from Hriday, Vani, and Vapu, from the body, Vidadham Namaste, offer my obeisances to the Lord. So while you are suffering, first you should not feel too much frustrated about it. Even if everything in your life goes upside down, all your plan fails. Keshav Maharaj said, Lord says, no, no, no. Can I have this thing in my life? Lord says, no. Can I have that thing in my life? Lord says, no. Can I have this person in my life? No. Can you get rid of this person from my life? No. No, 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 no. It's all a no. But take the no of Lord in style. Okay, no problem. You don't want to remove this problem? No problem. I am happy. I am happy. So do not suffer. Chaitanya Prabhu says, live with pain, don't live in pain. Live with pain. Huh? The pain is there. Huh? Live with pain, but don't live in pain. Don't live inside the pain. Don't let the pain overrule your mind just because some of your plans have gone upside down. Because when you wait, it says, Tattenu kampasu samikshamano. When you wait while you are suffering and offering your obeisances, jivet yo mukti pade sadai bhag. You become eligible for liberation. So if you want to become eligible for liberation, you should be very patiently suffer your reactions. Again, internally I'm talking, externally the situations can be different. And yeah, you do what you need to do. But eventually you'll become liberated from this material world because of the mercy of the Lord. Because Lord will see this guy is very sincere. He's still trying his best. Even the situations are so bad. And then Lord will give mercy. And this is the thing which you cannot demand from the Lord. Lord has to give you. So mercy you cannot demand. Oh, Krishna, I've done my Bhakti Shastri, I've done my Bhakti Vaibhav, I got 95% of my marks, I've done, 90% of Mangala Aartis, and I've done Nirjala Ekadashis, 64 rounds and 32 Vrindavan Parikrama, Giriraj Parikrama and all that, and Lord will say, get out from here. If you propose in front of Lord your calculative mindset, Lord will also become calculative. So don't become calculative. So Lord will give mercy to you. And for that, you just have to wait. And in any situation, it says, when Laddu is coming, that's from the Lord, and Thappad is coming, that's also from the Lord. So you should not think, Laddu Lord ke liye bahut acha hai. Huh? Any lottery ticket, very nice. Huh? But any criticism, Lord, how can you do that? No, that will also come. That will also come. It's a part of the package. Huh? You get the both sides of the coin. You cannot accept just a coin on one side. Good side I will take. Bad side I will not take. Huh? No, you have to take both. This is a part of the package deal. Huh? One free with one. You buy one, get one free. Buy the Sukha, Dukha automatically comes, and Dukha comes more. What's that movie name? Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. Huh? Thodi Khushi, Bahut Gum. Thodi Khushi, Bahut Gum. This is a part of the deal. You have to take it. You cannot say no. So take it nicely. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you. I deserve it. Huh? I have done it. I take responsibility for it. But when you do that, Lord becomes very pleased. Okay, Prabhupada has written, the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam should be the guide of all devotees. A devotee should not expect immediate relief from the reaction of his past misdeeds. And we are like, Prabhu, I've been going to temple for 6 months, 6 months I've been chanting 16 rounds every day. Okay, devotee should not expect immediate relief from the reactions of his past misdeeds. Prabhupada gave the example of, you switch off a fan, you will still see the fan moving even after switching off. So fan will move for some more time. No conditioned soul is free from such reactionary experiences because material existence means continued suffering or enjoying of past activities. If one has finished his material activities, then there is no more birth. Shri Prahlad Prabhu said, the day we finish our karma, there will be no more body. How do you will enjoy? Even for enjoyment, you need body. And that means some reactions has to be there. So it's a mercy of the Lord, actually. Again, easier said than done. I'm also struggling. But the point is these statements of Shastra is so nice. They encourage you. So they're very nice. This is possible only when one becomes Krishna conscious activities because such activities do not produce reaction, akarma. Therefore, as soon as one becomes a perfect in Krishna conscious activity, he is not going to take birth again in this material world. So the word perfection is used. So don't think I have become a devotee, initiated devotee and all that. Huh? You have to achieve perfection in Krishna consciousness to not take birth again. Until that time, you have to take birth. A devotee who is not perfectly freed from the resultant action should therefore continue to act in Krishna consciousness seriously, even though there may be so many impediments. Okay, so it's quite clear. When such impediments arise, he should simply think of Krishna and expect his mercy. That is the only solace. If a devotee passes his days in that spirit, it is certain that he is going to be promoted to the abode of Lord. By such activities, he earns his claim to enter into the kingdom of God. And the exact word used here in this verse is Dai Bhag, means it refers to a son's becoming the lawful inheritor of the property of the father. In a similar way, pure devotee who is prepared to undergo all kinds of tribulations in executing Krishna consciousness duties becomes lawfully qualified to enter into transcendental abode. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll take 2 more next week. If there is any questions or comments, I'll take that. Next 2 are very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Okay, any comments or questions? Everyone got everything? Everyone seems very satisfied. So thank you again. Sundar Gopal, Prabhuji.